Hello students, I am back for one more video of Applied English. And students, this is a video of listening, and I am going to solve your doubts of listening part 1 of the previous video. In the previous video, I have given an assessment task after my video, and based on that, we are going to have a doubt solving video of part 1. There are total 10 questions that we have, students, and you have already done your listening and you have checked your answers. But since it is a doubt solving video, we are going to take only part 1 of 10 questions. Students, this is Saraswati Shishukunj-Borsad, and this is video number 15 of listening of Applied English. Students, I have already written 2 questions, question number 1 and question number 2. And always there is a conversation in part 1 between 2 people. Now students, the conversation is based on a person who is booking a coach for a trip. And what conversation is? Students, focus, listen attentively and get your answers. Students, without delay, we are going to do listening. You are going to do listening for the second time, and I am going to do listening for the first time. Students, I will write down my answers on the board, and you write your answers in the answer sheet. And we will check that how many you got correct of listening part 1. Students, without delay, we are going to do listening and start listening. I am going to play track for you, and your listening is here.
The test is in 4 parts: Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4. Now look at Part 1.
Part 1. Part 1.
You'll hear someone booking transport for a trip. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 and 2. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 and 2. Good morning, Burnham Coaches. Sarah speaking. How can I help you?
Yes. Good morning. I'm a teacher at the Down Language School. We have a bit of a problem, and I was wondering if you could help us out.
What is the problem exactly?
Well, we normally take our students on an excursion at the end of their course. But unfortunately, the coach firm we normally use has let us down. It seems they've gone out of business.
I'm sorry to hear that. I suppose you are looking for a replacement.
Well, yes. We won't need a very large coach, actually. There will be 30 students and 4 teachers.
So that's 34 in all. And what dates did you have in mind?
The last Saturday and Sunday of this month. That's the 28th and 29th.
The 28th and 29th. Does that mean you are planning to stay somewhere overnight?
That's right. Actually, we want to do the same excursion that we do every year. We usually visit Stonehenge, Salisbury, and stay overnight in Bath. It's a historical tour, really.
It sounds interesting. Let me just see what we have available. Oh dear, I'm afraid all our coaches are booked out for the 28th. It's the busiest time of the year for us, actually.
I was afraid that would be a problem. But you have a coach available for the 29th?
Yes, we do. And it's available for the 30th as well, if that's any help to you.
I'm afraid not. Sunday is the last day. The students go home on Monday. I think we'll just have to change our plans a bit and leave out Salisbury. It's a shame, but I don't think we can fit in all 3 places in one day.
So, you would like to book the coach for the 29th, visiting Stonehenge and Bath, is that right?
Yes, I think so.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 3 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 3 to 10. Right, I just need a few details, sir.
OK. My name is Paul Scott.
S-C-O-T?
It's double T, actually.
I'm sorry. And it's the Down Language School. Could you give me the address for that, Mr. Scott?
Yes, it's Down House, Hill Street, Brighton. Do you need the postcode?
No, that's not necessary, but I do need a contact number.
Of course. The number for the school secretary is 01273 512 634. You can contact her if you need to speak to anyone.
Right, and what time would you like the coach to pick you up?
Well, I think we'll have to make an early start. Would 7:30 be all right?
Yes, no problem at all. What time do you want to be back?
Oh, any time between 10 and 11 will be all right. Not later than 11, though.
Right, I'll make a note of that. 11 p.m. latest. There's just one more thing I need to know. Presumably, you'll be visiting Stonehenge first. How long do you want to stay there?
Well, we normally stay about an hour. The main objective of the excursion is for the students to see the Georgian architecture in Bath, really.
Yes, Bath is lovely, isn't it? I was there myself a couple of years ago. I thought the Royal Crescent was absolutely stunning. I hadn't realised how large it is. Well, I think that's all I need to know, Mr. Scott. Thank you for booking with us.
Just a minute. There's one thing you seem to have forgotten. How much will this cost?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I was thinking about Bath. Just bear with me a moment. Yes, it's a round trip of 300 miles and a total time of 16 hours for the driver. For a 45-seater coach, that will be a total of £500, including tax and insurance.
Do we have to have such a large coach? There are only 34 of us.
We don't have any smaller coaches, I'm afraid.
Oh well. At least we won't be cramped for space. When do we have to pay?
We require a 20% deposit to confirm the booking. I suggest that you do that as soon as possible, today if you can. The balance you can give to the driver if you're paying by cheque. Have the cheque made out to Burnham Coaches.
I think that'll be all right. I will have to check this with the school accountant, but if all is well, I'll arrange for someone to bring you the deposit within the next 2 hours.
That'll be fine, Mr. Scott.
Well, thank you very much indeed. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Hello students, I hope you have done your listening and you have written your answer in the answer sheet. You can see 2 questions I have written on the board and there is a conversation between 2 people as I mentioned in the previous video. Now there is a teacher and he himself says that I am a teacher at Down Language School and he wants to book a coach for an excursion for the students So every year the school organizes an excursion for the students and they want to book a coach. But due to some business, the coaches are not available. And when the conversation goes on, you can hear that there are total how many? There are total 30 students. Okay, so I write here 30 plus there are 4 teachers as well. So now what is the number you get? The number is 34. So there will be 34 passengers on the coach. So what is the number of the passengers? The number of the passengers that you get, that is 34. It is clearly mentioned. And the lady says, yes, all over it is 34. So what is the number you get? 34. The students leave the school on Monday. Now there is a bit long conversation goes on, and at the last you get the answers. Now there are different days mentioned about leaving the school, going for an excursion. But at the last you can find the Monday. Okay, the students leave the school on a particular day. So what is the day? They are talking about Saturday, Sunday, but no. At the last they mentioned that Monday the students will leave the school. So here I write Monday. Okay. So what are the 2 answers that you get? One is 34 passengers in the coach, and Monday the students will leave the school. Students, if you have done your listening very attentively, you get these answers. I hope you got the correct answers. Now the rest of the questions I am going to write over here, and we will discuss what answer supposed to be. And I have done question number 1 and 2. There are total 10 questions that we have. Rest of the questions that we will see. Students, I have written the questions 3 to 8, and I always say that you need to follow the instructions. What is that? No more than 2 words or a number. That means your answer should not be more than 2 words. That means there should be only 1 word or a number, or there should be only 1 number. Okay. The conversation continues between Paul, that means the school teacher, and who is that? The tourist official. So there are 2 people talking about the trip. Okay. What is the name of the company that you can hear? The name of the company is Barham Coaches. So it is the name of the company. And the officer asks, may I know your name please? And Paul says, Paul Scott. And the officer replies, it's a S-C-O-T. And Paul immediately says, no, it's a S-C-O-T-T. So what is the answer here? It's a Paul Scott. P-A-U-L, Paul and Scott. S-C-O-T-T. You can hear clearly. Okay. And as we mentioned in the previous, that means in the beginning, what is the name of the teacher? He is Paul Scott. And where he teaches at Down Language School. Now the lady replies, may I know your address? Paul says, it's a Hill Street, Brinton. What you hear, you can clearly hear that it's a Hill Street. Okay. And contact number. Here contact number, it does not mean, students, that you are going to write your contact number. You don't have to write contact number. You may get confused that here it is written contact number. That means I have to write here contact number. No. Why? Because the contact number is already given here. See? Okay. So you need to pay attention. You don't have to write the contact number. Why? Because you need to see the questions. What it is? The dash to be contacted. That means there is a person whom you need to contact. Now you don't have to write a contact number. Why? Because it is here. Contact number does not mean that you are going to write contact number. But here, whom to contact? So it is school secretary. You can completely hear when you pay attention. To be contact on this number. The number is already given here, and you need to contact. Whom you need to contact? You need to contact school secretary. Okay. Pickup time. Now what is the pickup time? The pickup time is around 7:30. So 7:30 is the pickup time. And what is the return time? Now return time is not sure about, but they say that between 10 to 11 p.m. and not later than 11 p.m. You can completely hear in the conversation. So it is between 10 to 11 p.m. But not later than 11 p.m. that you can hear. So what is the answer here? It is 11 a.m. Okay. Now students, the purpose of hire, why they want to hire a particular coach, what is the purpose? So the purpose behind this trip is visit Stonehenge and a bath. So the trip officer replies, yes, even myself gone over there, and I still remember it was a wonderful trip, and I still remember about bath. So what is the answer here? At the end of conversation that you can listen, it is bath. So students, we have completed total 3 to 8 questions, and I have written the answers. I hope students you have got all correct answers of questions number 3 to 8. Now 2 more questions are remaining students, that is 9 and 10 that we will see. Students, now there are total 2 questions remaining. We have discussed question 1 to 8. Now 2 more, 9 and 10. But let's follow the instructions. No more than 3 words. That means your answers should not be more than 3 words. If you have written 2 words, okay. But not more than 3 words. That means there should not be 4 words. Okay. What does the cost of the hiring the coach include? Now when the conversation goes on between the person, between the teacher and the trip officer, and what are the coach include? So it's a tax and insurance. At the last that you can hear, if you have done listening very attentively, you can find that tax and insurance, these are the 2 things that can be included. Okay. Now the last question, what does the customer have to speak to the before confirming the booking? So before confirming or before booking coach, what has to be done? That means the school accountant has to be spoken. That means what does the customer have to speak to the before confirming the booking? So it's the school accountant a person needs to speak to. So we have completed these 2 questions, students, and I hope you have done your listening. Just check your answers and let me know that how much you got. After my video, I always give an assessment task. There you need to do listening, and I am going to give only part 1. Do listening and let me know how much you get. I am going to send a PDF of the answer key the next day. Check it and let me know that how much you get. Students, I hope you have understood all this part 1 of doubt solving of this video. Students, now I am going to play a listening track for you, and the listening track for you is here, and you can do listen.
Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4. Now look at Part 1.
Part 1.
A campus radio station is going to be in action. An interviewer is interviewing a man from the university for the survey. Listen to the conversation between them and circle the best answer from A, B, or C for questions 1 to 4. You now have some time to read questions 1 to 4. Now, we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will never hear the recording for the second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 4.
Excuse me, I'm conducting a campus survey. Would you have time to answer a few questions?
What's it all about?
We're doing some market research for a new campus radio station starting in the next few months.
That's okay. Sounds good.
Great. I'll just work through this form with you. And if we could start with some personal background information?
Sure.
Right. If I could have your age, please.
26.
Okay, good. And are you a student, teacher, or in another job?
Well, I'm a tutor, but I'm also a postgraduate student, so I don't know what you might call me.
What do you think?
Okay, well, I'm more of a teacher, really.
Fine. And would you mind if I asked about your salary, or I could leave it blank?
No, that's okay. It's $20,000 a year.
Thanks. Right. Now about your current listening habits. What would you say is your main reason for listening to radio?
Well, I'm usually busy during the day at work, so I usually only listen to the radio at night. It helps me relax and unwind, even if I'm studying.
Good. And how many hours a day on average do you listen to the radio?
Well, not a lot really. I'd say just over an hour all told.
Now you have some time to read questions 5 to 10. Now listen to the second part of the interview and answer questions 5 to 10.
So, what are the two main times of the day that you listen to the radio?
Well, for a little while around breakfast time, and then it tends to be later, after dinner, when I've finished any serious work I need to do.
And what sort of radio programs do you like?
I like the news, but I also like classical music. It helps me to relax.
Fine. And turning to the new campus station, which type of programs would you prefer?
I think the existing radio stations cater for my need for news. So I'd like to see programs about local information, providing a service to the campus community. And in the same vein, perhaps more for academic viewers, some lectures or relevant programs.
I see. And if you had to give the new director some specific advice when they set up the station, what would you tell them?
I think I'd advise them to be careful about the quality of the broadcasts. The sound system. There are a lot of radio stations, and people can change their loyalty quickly if it doesn't meet their needs. I think they should do more of these kinds of interview too, talking with existing and potential customers.
Oh, I'm pleased you think it's useful.
Certainly, yeah.
Good. Now, this station will not be fully funded by the university. So how often do you think it is tolerable to have adverts?
I think, well, out of that list, I'd say every quarter of an hour. Of course, that's providing they don't last for 10 minutes each time.
Oh, quite. And are you interested in attending any of the special promotions for the new station?
Yes, I'd be happy to, as long as they're held on the campus or nearby.
OK, I'll note that down. And finally, may we put you on our mailing list?
Well, I'd prefer not, except for the information about the promotions you just mentioned.
OK. Can I have your name and address?
Of course. I have a card I can give you.
Oh, great. And thanks a lot for your time, and we look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
That is the end of part 1.
You now have half a minute to check your answers.